Fist flying, no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it on a Sunday. How's it going? What up, 78 Northwest? Welcome in. Good evening. How you doing? Hopefully you like that new intro. I don't know if you guys paid attention. I don't know how many people pay attention to the intro, but I like an intro. I like an outro of some sort. So I made a new intro. I basically just modified it a bit, and yeah, hopefully you guys liked it. It was just one of those things that was bugging me. I wanted to start the new year with a new intro, and it took me a minute, but I got it done. We're still in January, so hey, got it going. I know the PFL kicking themselves for not having an event during the UFC break. Yeah, that's more than likely the case, because they could have been capitalizing on this shit for sure. But guess what? Today's the last day of finding content other than what's actually going to be happening for live events. So I'm actually pretty happy about that, considering we are now working on the last of the 6 weeks that there was no fight. And as Johnny said, no one else seemed to capitalize on that very much. There was some events here and there, as far as the somewhat higher level events that could have taken the place of the UFC, at least in as a, I guess, as a placeholder, just to kind of, maybe gain a few more eyes, a few more fans. Nobody really took advantage of that. It's the holidays, so that kind of maybe helps make up for them not wanting to do it. But I don't know. I feel like you should be grinding at that time. If the UFC is going to take that much time off, definitely capitalize on that. But it didn't happen. So we've been without fights, unless you're watching all the lower level stuff. I mean, that does happen. I believe LFA was on Friday on Vice and their new home for broadcasting. I did not get a chance to watch that, but I do plan on watching a little more of that. I do want to kind of get into watching a little more than the UFC, especially since it seems like the schedule is going to be a bit different. PFL will have to see if the UFC going to do it again end of this year. I think the UFC kind of handles the end of the year a little bit differently. I mean, we used to get New Year's Eve fights, but not anymore. And I was looking at somewhat of the schedules from years in the past, and it doesn't seem like we've really had too much going on in February as far as a actual numbered event or pay-per-view from what it used to be. So yeah, but I mean, it's weird. We'll have to wait and see how this year plays out, because this is definitely a one of one year for the UFC as far as how it's going to work going into the new broadcasting deal with Paramount Plus. Yo, what's up, Infinity? Just got logged in for a few. So yeah, we got Paramount Plus, right? And already the schedule's been different. We've never really had 6 weeks off, I don't think. Maybe 3 or 4, but I don't think we've ever gone 6 weeks without it. And then we got February with only 3 events, none of them being numbered events and stuff like that. So I feel like it's going to be a bit of a different type of year, especially with the sorry, I had to listen to something real quick. Tua, what's up? Coming in with the letters. At least you made it all the way through without getting interrupted. Oh, Fantasy League. Oh shit. Good call. Here, let me look at something real quick, because I might be able to type it in for you. I didn't want to do it last time because I was in the middle of stuff, but I do have I'm a part of a Discord, which means I should be able to just send you that, right? And yeah. Let me get this. Let me Let me type this in the chat for you, see if it works. And then I can join up if I have the time. Yo, what's up, Antoine? There we go. All right, UFC giving out more undeserving title shots this year. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Infinite. Oh yeah, good call. I got the new hat in. Check it out. There's your front. We got the red on black, and then I did that for the back. So I like that a little better than my old one. So yeah, I think it came out pretty dope. So now I got the dark gray with the red, and I got the, I guess it's charcoal gray with the red, and now I got the black with the red. Thanks to appreciate that. Currently at this pizza joint under my apartment, and they fucked up my order. Oh shit. Oh yeah, that's all I wear is fitteds, man. I don't really fuck with the snapbacks. I understand the like for them because most people go with fitteds, you know, but that's just me. Yeah, the black and red is dope. I love the charcoal gray with the red. I thought that came out pretty sick too, but I mean, there's something about a all black hat that I like, and black with red always looks good, and those are my colors. So now I got a little bit of both, and I like them both. And my same daughter got me this hat too. She paid for it. It was a Christmas present. Yeah, it does come up good on the camera for sure. And it is a Christmas present. And these hats, when you customize a New Era hat, everything costs extra money. Like the way that these letters are raised, it costs extra to do that. It's annoying. And then they charge you a shitload for the design fee. So man, it's customized 2 racks. That's fucking funny. I mean, if you actually do it too, still funny. But I never thought I'd have an actual hat the way I wanted it to be set up. I didn't even know how I would want my hat set up as far as a going rounds hat. But I wear, as somebody in the chat likes to point out a lot, that I have a bunch of hats. And while I liked the idea of making my own hat, so I did that first one, and then my daughter said, hey, I'd like to get you a second one for Christmas, since I got that one for my birthday, I think, the other going round hat. So now I got 2, which is pretty sick because I can, you know, flip-flop between the 2, in between all of my Atlanta Braves hats and some of my Colts hats. But that's what I do, you know? So I've been busy working with some stuff. As you saw, hopefully, the intro, if you like it, go back and check it out if you didn't get to see it the first time. I made some changes to the intro. You know, I'm sure after a little while of having it, I'll be like, oh, I could have done this or done that different with it or whatever. But I like it. It's a little more, you know, it's a little more involved than the previous one. Every one of my intros has gotten a little better, I think. So I just get bored with stuff and I want to change it up. So I changed out the layout here before I even changed out the intro. I wanted to start the year with a new intro, but I couldn't tie it down. I couldn't figure it out. And now I did. So there's that. And then on top of that, I was prepping for stuff to work on for tonight's podcast, because I was like, damn, it's the last day before I can preview the actual first fight of the year. So what do? So I came up with some stuff, you know, trying to go, before we dive in, how do you feel about these assholes online roasting Josh Allen for wearing his hat on his heart on his sleeve? What up, Tyler? You mean just because he's what do you mean? Just because he's not an asshole or doesn't show out to be an asshole, or because he actually has feelings? I don't know. I don't keep up with everything as much as I probably should. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you can give me a little bit of context and then I can comment on it. But oh, crying in the post-game press conference. Listen, there's a difference, man. I do make fun of people crying, but only for certain things. As if you saw in the thumbnail, John Jones is crying in the thumbnail. I made fun of him for that. The only reason why I made fun of him for that is because he deserved it. Because not just because he was crying. I don't give a shit. If a dude needs to cry, he needs to cry. If it happens to be on on a camera in front of everybody, so be it. Maybe bad timing. You're going to catch shit for it. It is what it is. But John Jones was crying because he got busted for, he dropped dirty. In that picture was because he dropped dirty for some kind of steroid, right? Banned substance of some sort. Whether it was picograms or non-picograms, I don't give a shit. He got busted. And it was pretty telling when we found out that one of his brothers, if not both of them, at one point in time got busted in the NFL. One of them for sure got busted in the NFL for steroids as well. So it's kind of one of those things. And he said, I just feel like I let my team down, and the reporters told his teammates, and they started crying too. See, yeah, that kind of shit, I understand that. I would never make fun of a dude for doing that. No matter how much I hated him, I'd be like, fuck. Because I do, I see it. I've been passionate enough about a sport in my life where I was damn near gonna cry when we lost something. When I was in Little League, of course I was a kid, but it is what it is. Even as I've been older though, there's been things that have happened, and when I watched my kids play in high school and they lost some where they could have made it to the championship, or they lost a championship game, dude, it took a minute. It took a minute for me not to cry. Tyler, you're only saying that because you're in high school now. When you grow up, you tend to have a little more feelings than you do in high school. And I guarantee you've curled up and cried in your room one time or another after losing a big match in wrestling. Tell me you haven't at least felt it. It's okay. You're going to deny it, but I understand. I was a high school kid at one point in time myself. So, it's embarrassing. It doesn't feel like that's what you want to do, but I cried when I lost drinking and smoking tournaments. I knew this was coming. I just think people got to understand what it means to come up short, and when the world is watching. No, for sure. I goon when I lose.
Bruh.
Oh, fuck. For some reason, I don't doubt it, and I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
But listen, man, if somebody wants to show their emotion, as long as you're not crying every single time we see as long as you're not crying every single goddamn time we see you on the screen, that's a bit much. But when you're in a situation like that, I get it, man. I get it. I'm not, oh, was that loud, Infinity? I thought I turned that one down because it did seem pretty loud, but if that blew your guys' ears out, just let me know, because I'll definitely turn that one down. I know it was loud from the sample I got, but it was fitting for what I was thinking at the moment, and then I forgot I had it, and I think I used it once last time, but don't matter. But I almost spit my snack out. Oh, shit. Like I've always said, the reason why athletes get paid millions is to deal with all of that on the world stage. Those memories haunt them for the rest of their lives, and you can't change history. Yeah, well, and he's gonna sit there and be like, cool, make fun of me for crying. Guess what? My bank account says I can cry whenever I want. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So yeah, that's what it is. Speaking about, listen, man, I'll put myself out there for a second. Wait, if Jean Silva becomes a champion, he going to cry in every oh shit. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Cormier still cries at his best. I knew that was going to come at some point in time from somebody. Listen, speaking of embarrassing moments, I'm a little bit injured right now. I'm not infinity level injured. At least I don't think so. But I did something pretty fucking embarrassing today. I'm not going to cry about it, but I'm pretty fucking embarrassed. I felt like a real old guy. As you can tell, I'm not the smallest dude in the world either, so that doesn't help. We were gonna take our dogs to yeah, we were taking our dogs to get groomed, right? I took them for a walk, brought them back. My wife was getting her stuff together. We go walking out the house. I had both the dogs. My younger dog, my smaller dog, he hates when we're going to get in the car because he thinks he's going to the vet. And So he was being a pain in the ass. My bigger dog was jumping around like crazy, or my older dog, he's not that much bigger. And so we were trying to get him in the car. Well, my little dog didn't realize that he kind of went out into the driveway as far as his leash would let him go, and then he's backing up. And I have these little like vests on him, right? It's like a non-pull vest, but it's like a tactical vest style, right? Because I think they're cool. I like them, and the dogs, I mean, it works well for them, except when they're a little bit loose. He backed his way out of his vest and got away off the leash. So I noticed right away. I turned around to start going after him, and I was in between like a fast stride, and I wasn't about to run because I didn't want to scare him either, but I was also a little bit panicky because, you know, there's a street right there. I don't want to have to chase after him down the road. So I'm like, shit. Well, in the midst of everything, I'm going down the decline of the driveway as well, mind you. So my big ass going down the decline at a faster than walking pace, on top of holding another dog with a leash in my hand and lunging forward to try to pick up my little dog before he decides to run out in the road or some shit. I ate shit. Yep. I ate shit. I am not.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
That was not me. I fucked up and I ate shit. I basically like full on fell on my side as I was reaching for the dog. But I don't know if my foot slipped out from under me. I was caught up on the damn other leash. I don't even know. Somehow or another, next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Mind you, in half on the driveway cement and half on decorative rock. I don't know how I have no cuts or scrapes or nothing, right? What I did do was I fell completely on my side with all my weight on my side, and I knocked the wind out of myself. And I don't know if I cracked a rib or what, but I'll tell you right now, it hurts a little bit to do this, and I can't get up too fast. And if I go to sneeze or even laughing like that right now, I can feel it in my side. Now, when I was in high school, I ruptured my spleen, which is on this side. I ruptured my spleen when I collided with somebody as we were playing. Yeah, Infinity, that is 100% true. I ruptured my spleen when I collided with somebody while we were playing baseball. Was running back for a fly ball. I jumped backwards. My friend was diving forward. He hit me on the side. I did a cartwheel in the air, fell down on that same side, knocked the wind out of me, I thought only, and then I proceeded to had chills, had the sweats, I had the shakes, I was puking, all kinds of shit. Didn't hit my head, so I know I didn't have a concussion. Turns out I ruptured my spleen, which was bad. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I didn't have to have surgery. Age makes it 100% worse. If I was Tyler Fish right now, I probably would be perfectly fine. But I'm too big for I'm too big to be falling like that, and I'm too old to be doing that shit too. But now, granted, a few years ago I was fucking diving around for softballs and playing softball, but I don't do that anymore. So, and I'm a little bit older now, and that sucked. So now my side is pretty fucked. And I'm worried about when I go to bed tonight and try to sleep and I toss and turn, it's gonna hurt. So let's hope that I wake up just sore tomorrow and that's it and nothing else. I was feeling a lot better. I was doing some stuff in the kitchen and I moved a certain way and it hurt like I just did it again. So I'm hoping I didn't crack a rib or break a rib or nothing like that. Yeah, man, it still hurts pretty bad. So if I wake up not feeling any better in the morning, I guess I'm going to have to go get checked out. But I'm an idiot, all right? And fuck my little dog. He's a bastard. It's his fault. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just lay still and not move. But anyway, that's my Jack. His name is Jack. My little. I'm still paying for surgeries. I know I don't want to have any of that, man. My little dog's name is Jack. Well, he's a jackass, fucker. So anyway, yeah, that's my embarrassing story. I didn't cry, but I'll tell you what, it knocked the wind out of me, and my wife was very scared because I couldn't say anything. You know how it is when you get the wind knocked out of you. It's been a very long time since that's happened to me. I was like, buck. Yeah, the one that hated your boot, exactly, Infinity. So yeah, little bastard, and that sucks. But it is what it is. So let's hope that I'm okay. And by Thursday's show, I'm telling you that I feel 100% better. That would be great. But I'm sure it's going to hurt for a little bit. Anyway, there's my embarrassing story. I didn't cry, though. But it's embarrassing. And it sucks. Especially because, yeah, just the way I fell, I know it's embarrassing as shit. So, there it is. I didn't even know if I was going to talk about it, but I might as well. Because it is funny. And if you're in a podcast, don't be mad if I laugh, dude. Listen, there's video. It's bad. I'm not showing anybody though. Fuck that. But it was bad. It's embarrassing as shit. But it is what it is. We're all human. So, with that being said, tape the mic to your chest. With that being said, I wish it was 2016 because I probably wouldn't have hurt myself so bad. And I say that because 2016 is now 10 years ago, which is crazy. But ring cameras are the devil. Yeah. 2016 was 10 years ago, and there just so happens to be a trend going around where everyone's making a big deal about 2016. Apparently, enough drastic things happened in 2016 around everything in major sports and in the all over the zeitgeist, I guess, that it's enough for everyone to want to take a trip back to 2016. So with that being said, 2016 was one of the most important years in the UFC for many reasons that we're going to get into. But before we do that, let me hit up Noctane. I'm not sure that it's the best idea that I take a nice big whiff of this, but I kind of feel like I need it right now. And let's hope I don't cough. I'm going to try very hard to... Oh, and I got a new fan coming because this one is being annoying. I know. Yeah, Infinity. I'm going to try very hard not to cough. But we're going to take a whiff of this anyway. Oh, shit. I hit the mic. My bad. Noctane Smelling Salts, my sponsor for the show. This is the most potent bottle. There's a couple other potencies. It's good for being awake and alert, staying awake and alert, and getting a little boost of adrenaline real quick, like, which I could use right now. So let's hope I don't cough. I'm going to try my best. Here we go. Oh, there it is. I held that one back. UFC 195 was in 2016? Yes, Tua. Yes. So anything that... Oh, shit. It was worse trying to hold the cough in. But Noctane Smelling Salts, appreciate you for the sponsorship. Go check out their website. Scan that QR code on the that you see on the screen in front of you, or go to the link in the description below. It's always there. You can go check out their website, and you can go get yourself a bottle of Noctane Smelling Salts. So let's get to it while we're here. Before we get to anything else, or get into anything else, I can't even talk now. All right, let's get into it, because I have some stuff for you to jump back into. Let me stop these. There we go. To jump back in about 10 years and take a look at 2016, because 2016 was a big year for the UFC, and I'm about to tell you why. Let's get into it. 2016 to 2026, 10 years, a lot has changed. You would think that in 10 years, so much. All right, Infinity, appreciate you. You would think, like, how much could have actually changed in 10 years? Well, just like everything else in the world, a lot has changed in 10 years for the UFC. And in 2016, we had things like Jon Jones having as many, well, actually way more problems than he has now, but still with the problems 10 years ago. So we've been dealing with Jon Jones and his problems. I'm back. I had to bring the pizza to my apartment. McGregor got hung up. That's 100% true. And he still is
To this day.
But Conor became the first double champ, simultaneous double champ, I should say. We had the UFC getting legalized, the last state that needed to be legalized, and it was finally legalized in New York. So we got the first New York Madison Square Garden event. That's crazy to think that the sport's only been legal in New York for 10 years. Insane. And then we had John Jones popping for PEDs, crying in front of everybody for the second time on a big stage due to something stupid that he did. Antoine says, I actually look forward to this because I feel like some of the all-time greats of the sport were made during this 10-year run, like some of the people we will be talking about in the year 2070. Yeah, Coke was after that Floyd fight. I feel like he dabbled in it around this time though, huh? Like, let's look at this. Let's look at it this way to kick it off. I know you aren't high on McGregor, but you can say, but can you say he is a top 10 fighter in UFC history? UFC history. Red Rum come the 23rd. Sugar Show season 2. Yeah, I think Sugar's gonna do well. I'm hoping at least. But yes, I'm not high on Conor, but listen, I put him here. Yeah, it's a good one too. I'm getting to that. I put him here because yeah, he's a super big influence on the sport, becoming the first simultaneous double champ like he did. A lot of things changed after his big reign in the UFC during this time. Now, like Tua said, Conor took that big loss in 2016 against Nate, which was his first loss that, his first loss in the UFC. And, with Nate being the one to do it was awesome for me because I'm a big Nate Diaz fan, and I enjoyed the shit out of that because I had a lot of people at my house that were all up on Conor's nuts, and I was the only Diaz fan, and I got to celebrate in front of all of them. So it was fucking great for me. But the thing is Conor did so much for the sport, and this year kicked off a lot. Even though it might have been the first year that he lost, it still kicked off a lot. It lit a fire under his ass, and he became a double champ during the first event in the New York City event in MSG for the first time ever, which is fucking insane. I mean, there's so much that happened throughout this year, and like I said, due to Conor being Conor, and I think I wrote in the description something like from Conor to chaos, because really, if you think about 2016 to 2026, Conor is the jump off point to the way that things changed, with the way that champions were handled, the way that divisions were handled, the way that now you can't be a simultaneous double champ. You can't do it now because they don't even want to let that happen. I just think we have to give him grace because when he was locked in, he did everything he said he was going to do. That's 100% true. My biggest problem with Conor, he never defended a belt. So that's a big thing because they usually say you're not a true champion until you defend that belt at least once, because it shows and proves you weren't a fluke. So are we gonna call Bilal Muhammad one of the greatest ever because he won a belt once? Probably not. Are we gonna call Jack Della one of the greatest ever because, I mean, think about how many fighters back in the day won a belt once and never defended it. Some of them even did, and you still don't remember them. So that's the thing. Conor made his statement in so many different ways and made his mark on the UFC, which is why I give him all of the credit in the world for what he did for the sport. I'm not taking that away from him whatsoever. I'm just saying that my problem with Conor is that he never defended a belt. He basically defended the featherweight belt. No, he didn't. He didn't defend it at all. He won it, went up to lightweight. So he didn't defend it. He was still the champ, but he didn't defend it. But in this circumstance, can we say he's a real champion, seeing how he... Oh, no, for sure. One champion. Yeah. Locked in Conor was spectacular. Yes. No. The interim belt is not a defense. No. It is not. All that is, it's a unification. So for me, this is just for me. You guys can have any opinion you want to have, and I respect it. But for me, if you're an interim champ, there's been plenty of interim champs too. And just because they didn't become undisputed champs, most people don't even remember that they were interim champs. I give them credit. At least they won a belt, but it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. People count out Adesanya's interim, but win, but not Conor. Why do you always do this, Tyler? Why do you always do this? I'm not saying that at all. I didn't bring that up at all. So Adesanya's interim title was not I don't don't play champion. It's not about that, man. It's not about Adesanya. No, it's not about that. I'm not going to count Conor's interim is an interim. That's all it is. It's an interim. He's not the undisputed champion. I'm talking about undisputed champions. He's a double champion, was the first ever, and again made his mark on the sport in a way that no one else has been able to touch since. I'm giving him all the fucking credit in the world. I'm not gonna suck on his big nuts like you all want to. I'm sorry, it's fucking not gonna happen. Okay, and it's not. And how can I be a huge hater if I'm over here giving him all the props in the fucking world? This is what I hate about Conor McGregor fans, Conor McGregor dick riders, I should say. And I'm not just pointing this at anybody. I'm talking about everybody in the world that wants to complain about how Conor doesn't get this and Conor doesn't get that. Conor gets everything. Conor gets he got special treatment 100%. He got to do a bunch of shit that no one else in the fucking in the whole entirety of the UFC throughout all of its years. He's gotten to do way more than anybody else. So if you want to ride Conor's dick, that's fine with me. I don't care. But you can't complain about the things I have to say because I'm still giving him all the fucking props in the world. I don't know what else you want from me except for bending the knee like you do. I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen. That's all I have to say about that. But if we're being real, Gastelum versus Adesanya is literally one of the greatest title fights in UFC history. That's true. Talking about the fight alone, 100%. But he also won the fights when necessary, like no one can take away knocking out Jose in 13 seconds. 100%. That's when he won the title. That's when he won the undisputed title. And he did it in crazy fashion. I give him that credit 100%. No, I'm not taking any of that away from him. So, washing all that clean, let me get back to what I'm saying. Because Conor, dude, people that love Conor McGregor like he's the god of MMA. I get it, man. You can. But here's the thing. I'm a gigantic fucking Diaz fan. I'm a gigantic Nate Diaz fan. I don't ever once say, oh, well, he would have won that fight if, oh, well, if there was 2 minutes more, you know, I know the downsides. Now, are you going to say that Conor is as good as he was back then today? Are you going to defend that? I don't think so, man. You can't, because the motherfucker can't even get in the cage. He can't even make it. So that's my thing. People just fucking dick ride Conor so hard, and I'm not that way with any fighter. Khabib did a bunch of shit, and I can see the downfalls that people point out. I'm okay with that. He's still retired undefeated. Sure, he could have fought longer. He made a promise to his dad, or he made a promise to his mom after his dad passed away. And you know what? I respect that. He did what he did, and it's over. Sure, you don't have to respect his record or whatever, but he was undefeated. He defended his title. He got the title. He beat your god Conor and a bunch of his teammates' asses. So say whatever you want about Khabib now. I am talking about Khabib when he fought and when he retired. Okay? Now, talk about Conor now. What's he doing? He's a scammer too. All he fucking does is talk about how much he's gonna fight, and he never fucking does. And he's gonna say it's the UFC's fault. He's gonna say it's this person's fault and that person's fault. Fucking point that finger to yourself, Conor, because you can't get off the drugs. You can't stop cheating on your wife. You can't stop fucking being around everything that you shouldn't be around. Plain and simple. So I don't have to respect what what he's doing now, but I definitely respect what he did back then. He definitely wasn't my end all be all, but he did a lot for the sport. But I'm gonna explain a little bit about what happened to the sport after he took advantage of everything that they gave him. And I don't blame him at all for taking advantage of it. But the problem is what the outcome was. And what the outcome was the entirety of the sport changing somewhat negatively because of the way that he handled what he did. So, I get worked up about that because I have so many fucking people just fucking Conor this and Conor that, and I understand what Conor did, but Conor's not Conor anymore, and Conor lost multiple times, and he talks all kinds of shit, and I get loving all of that, cool, but you can't sit here and act like he's the best fighter in the world, old or new Conor, because he wasn't and he isn't. So he was exciting, he was fun, and he did a lot for the sport, but it wasn't all positive. But it was fun, and it was enjoyable to watch. All right, Tyler, you can do that. I'm not gonna pay attention to you. And that's a damn shame because I like interacting with you. But anyway, Conor makes history, becomes the first simultaneous 2-division champion at UFC 205, the first event for New York City, the first event in New York, period. There was all kinds of changes in the bantamweight divisions for the men and women. Stipe started his championship reign at that point in time when he beat Fabricio Verdum. Tyron Woodley started his title reign as well after he beat Robbie Lawler. Amanda Nunes beats the absolute shit out of Ronda Rousey after Rousey decides to come back. And, you know, after she loses to Holly Holm loses to Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate loses to Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes kicks the shit out of Ronda Rousey and proves it, and then puts her basically away in a drawer. Tyron Woodley, the worst boxer. Tyler, you have a lot of strong opinions, man. And I understand it. I understand Tyron Woodley, but I'm just talking about what happened in 2016. What happened in 2016 is what I'm talking about. It's one of the craziest years in history for title changes. There was a change of hands about 12 times with titles. We were pretty close with 2025, honestly, because, you know, I think there was 11 title changes in 2025. Almost every single division changed hands with the title. So it's one of those things where you know, there's just so many, it's just a chaotic mess in the championship, like, picture of it all. So if you're looking at now, you know, we see Islam with the 2 belts the way Conor had them. We see Ilya with the 2 belts the way Conor had them. Speaking of Dick Rider for Conor, Ilya has tattoos that resemble Conor's, which is insane. Oh shit, yeah, I was watching that game too before I jumped on, but yeah, I'm not watching it now because it'll probably be distracting. I'm going for the Bears though, so I don't know, that's just me. Out of the two teams, I'm going for the Bears. But yeah, and then on top of everything else, we have the Paramount Plus deal, which is finally getting started here, coming up in less than a week, which is awesome. So those are the big events for 2026. As far as what I have here, obviously we're gonna dive a little deeper into 2016 because I was being a bit nostalgic. Fuck the Patriots. I was being a bit, and that's just because I've hated the Patriots for a long time. But what was I saying? 2016, I was diving deep into stuff in 2016, and that's what made me want to do this, because it's just one of those years that I actually remember a lot of shit from. Now that I think about it, though, the more I dive into these things, I just have to refresh my I'm just talking, Tyler. 26. I mean, if I look back at everything and actually look at the details from what happened from you, all the years blend for me, man. I'm not a statistician when it comes to some of this stuff. I wish I could remember all the dates and times, but even fucking 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to remember it. It's all a big blur. It all blends together, and I'm like, holy shit, that was only 5 years ago. And I'm thinking that it would happen like 10 years ago. So it all.
Smoke weed every day.
That's for Antoine. But yeah, it all kind of comes together. Oh man, 2016, I was a junior. Oh Jesus. Hoo-wee. I was out of high school for longer than 10 years at that point. Damn, I'm old. I hate it. Anyway, let's jump into one of the biggest things that happened that year. How many of my friends or parents passed away now? Oh shit, man. Yeah, that sucks. Looking at one of the big things that happened, we had the sale of the UFC going from Zuffa to WMEIMG at the time. It was sold for 4.04 billion or some shit like that, which is insane. That 10 years ago, it was sold for 4 billion, the entire company. And then this year we get the broadcast deal worth more than that, 7.7 billion. And it's not even for the amount of time, it's just for 7 years, which is crazy. So each year, yes, is less than the amount, but not by a ton. I mean, yes, 3 billion is a ton, but when you look at the overall perspective, it's only 3. So that's one of the biggest things that happened, and that changed the way that the UFC went as well. Conor himself was a big thing when it came to the sale of the UFC. He was a big asset in that sale because it was his biggest moments happening at this time. So they obviously knew they were buying in for a superstar that was carrying the whole company on his back pretty much, with everything that he was doing. See, I'm still talking good about Conor, so you can't say that I'm just a hater because I know the truth. But yeah, so that's one of the biggest things that happened that year, and it changed a lot of stuff with the way the company was run, the way that we look at things. But in the overall perspective, the UFC is still the UFC, but you know, we this is when it turned into, you know, I forgot to mention Power Slap got sold for 7.7 billion and they threw in the UFC. They started the uniform stuff around this time too. I don't remember exactly when. I think they started it right before this or right after the sale. I think it was right before the sale because they wanted to like clean everything up before they did the sale. So it sucks because of this sale that they had, you know, things started changing because they were just thinking about how they were going to sell the company to become different than what it was. And everything that's why 2016 is such a big year, because the sale of the company happened and so many things changed because of it. The uniforms were one of them, the structure of things, McGregor versus Mendez. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I don't remember when that was though. When was that? I want to look it up real quick because I meant to look this up before, but yeah, 2015 July. So that's I think I remember it was from the embedded episodes. Yeah, so it looks like the UFC introduced standardized uniforms, the Reebok fight kit, for its athletes starting in July 2015. So that's what, and this is what I'm saying. 2015 was when they started with the uniforms, and it was all everyone was wondering why all of a sudden they wanted to do uniforms. Well, it's because of the sale that they were preparing for. They had offers, they wanted to sell the company, and that's what they did in order to sell it and make it look more provocative, you know, and like a way to get people to look at it more, maybe to get the money going more, make it look like more of a professional league of sorts. That was on the Lawler versus McDonald 2 card. Oh god, yeah, that was insane. So it's just one of those things that happened because of the fact that they wanted to make it look better for this sale. So a lot of things changed because of this sale, and that's why 2016 is one of the biggest years, as well as, you know, as well as Conor and everything that he did. So let me get back to, I switched page and everything changed on me. No, McGregor-Mendez was the main event, so actually it would be called the McGregor-Mendez card. That didn't happen on the same, no, yeah, that's right, because they were main event. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so let's get into one of the first big things that happened, which was crazy enough to be said after everything that I've talked about with McGregor, is that in March, one of the biggest things that happened for this year was the McGregor versus Diaz fight. And this happened because if I remember correctly, I should have had this all brought up, but I didn't want to bring up every individual fighter's stuff, but for the sake of being correct on this, I just wanted to take a look real quick at Conor McGregor's page. I was just saying they were on the same card as all. Yes, RDA pulled out. Okay, so that's what I was trying to come up with, was if this was the one. Nate Diaz, here we go. So yeah, it was when, funny enough, RDA pulls out with the injured foot, and remember Conor was making fun of him, saying, "Oh, you have a bruised you have a bruised toe and you want to pull out of the card." But funny enough is that he pulled out of the Chandler fight because of a bruised toe. So funny how things kind of work out. But that's the thing. Nate Diaz, Mendez, okay, 189, 196. So that's what it was, 196. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Yep, Dos Anjos, broken foot. Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight on this card against Michael Johnson. BJ Penn was supposed to fight against Dennis Seaver, and Anderson Silva was supposed to fight against Vitor. So none of those happened. And yeah, it was as we know, Nate Diaz shocks the world and gets the big win in the second round against Conor McGregor, as he is able to catch him on the feet, because I don't know, RDA, he was kind of off and on at that moment, so I'm not sure if he would have definitely won, but it would have been interesting, I think. But you know, Diaz comes in and obviously gets busted up, you know, because Conor has good striking, as we know. He's pretty precise and accurate, but he wasn't able to get Diaz out of there, because Diaz is durable like that, but he's got that scar tissue in his face that opens up easily. So he got busted up and bloodied up, but Conor, after the first round, was already huffing and puffing like he just fought about 5 rounds. So his cardio was not great. Coming into the second round, you know, he starts getting pieced up by Nate, even though he's still putting work in. He gets pieced up by Nate, and then, you know, he comes back a little bit and then starts to get pieced up again by Nate, and then he winds up going in for a takedown because he's tired. He's getting hit a lot, and he decides to shoot for the takedown on Nate, while Nate turns it around on him quickly and gets his back and winds up trying to lock in the choke. And, you know, McGregor's fighting it off, but Diaz hits him with a punch that makes Conor move his hands quickly and turn his head, and he turns it right into Diaz's arm. He turned right into Diaz's arm, which was able to lock in that choke, and he gets the submission. And of course, at the end, you know, Diaz is just pumped. Conor's just looking around because he's not sure what to do, because, well, that was the, you know, that was like something that was unexpected. He was supposed to have won that fight. It was supposed to have been easy, according to him. He was throwing erratic punches. He was, you know, just being crazy. I don't know if he got too overconfident. I don't know if he got too emotional because of all the shit talking with Diaz. But, you know, he kind of carries himself in the way that he wins everything no matter what. And then to watch how he reacted after losing that fight was pretty interesting, honestly. But in the end, you know, we start off the year basically with the first biggest fight coming in, both Nick and Nate. Crazy cardio ability, yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, you know, and with Nate being as durable as he is too, you know, obviously Nick didn't last as long as Nate has lasted, but and I understand that Nate's, you know, not at the level he used to be at all either. But back then, obviously, it was fun to watch, and he still had his his downside of some of the fights that he fought in. But this fight with Conor was crazy. The second fight was crazy too. It was still pretty close, even though Conor got the win. But Conor did come back and beat him in the same year. No, not in the same year. How long after was it? It was in the same year. In August is when he came back and beat Nate Diaz. Which, you know, same year, another big fight, another shit talk fest. What was the first UFC pay-per-view you ever watched? Unfortunately, I don't remember the exact one, but looking back at some of the, I think it was, man, I want to say I started watching in like 05, 06, maybe even, yeah, 05 or 06 is when I started watching. So let me look real quick. I wish I could type faster. So UFC 51, Arlovsky versus Sil. Oh yeah, for sure. In 2005, so in the 50s somewhere, 40s or late 40s, early 50s was when I first started watching. Had to have, because I remember all these fights. Rich Franklin versus Nate Quarry, Chuck Liddell versus Jeremy Horn, Chuck Liddell versus Randy Couture for sure, Arlovsky versus Sylvia, that was in 51. So yeah, I watched during those. So I span all the way back to at least the 40s, I think. To be safe, that's what I would say. So yeah, 2004, 2005, 2006, all those years was when I was first getting into the sport, which is nuts. Like I said, like 20 years ago, basically, at this point. But other than that, on this card, we also had some of those changes in title holders in the bantamweight divisions. Like I was saying with the women, you know, Holly Holm comes off of the win over Ronda Rousey. And let's see, did she have any other? Let me look real fast. Cyborg, Miesha Tate. Yeah, she beat Ronda Rousey in 2015 November, and then she comes back and loses to Miesha Tate right here by rear naked choke in the 5th round. Miesha Tate becomes the champion, and later in the year she loses that as well. So the rest of this card, you know, there wasn't a ton going on. Corey Anderson versus Tom Lawler. Amanda Nunes actually fought Valentina Shevchenko on this card, which is crazy to know. And at the time, Amanda beat Shevchenko by unanimous decision, and that was in the bantamweight division. Who else? Diego Sanchez fought Jim Miller and won, which was crazy. And that's about it, really, that happened on that card. So that was in March. Then we move on to UFC 198, where we had Stipe starting his title reign beating Fabricio Verdum. We had Jacare versus Vitor Belfort on that card, and we had Anderson Silva versus Uriah Hall, which was not the best of fights. It was actually kind of shitty because, you know, Uriah Hall kind of, it was his, you know, it was somebody that he idolized. So unfortunately, that caused him to have a little bit too much respect, and so it turned out to not be the best fight ever, which it could have been because of the style that Uriah Hall had, and the style that, you know, the style that Anderson Silva had. It's like it should have been a great matchup, but instead, you know, it didn't turn out to be the best. Jacare beat Vitor Belfort, got a performance of the night bonus, and beat him by ground and pound in the first round. We had Chris Cyborg on that card beating Leslie Smith. Shogun beat Corey Anderson. And then Damian Maia beat Matt Brown. And yeah, was Silva versus Hall not on this card? Did that get taken off? Shit, this poster. Oh, it did get taken off. Silva illness. Ha. See, that's what's wrong with these posters. You can only find so many of these posters from back in the day, and they're not good quality either. So I didn't even remember. I remember Silva still fighting Hall, but it never happened. Let's see when it actually did happen. Oh, it didn't happen until 2020. Damn. And I do remember that just not being the best of fights. Well, I guess I wasn't that far off. 2016 to 2020. But that it still got pushed down the line quite a bit, so that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it didn't even happen on this card. So the poster was wrong. But Stipe got the big KO over Verdum quickly in the first round and winds up becoming the heavyweight champion, and that was his first title. Now they fought later on. It was Anderson's retirement fight. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even remember that. I just happened to see him on the poster, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think that happened then. But did you watch Uriah on The Ultimate Fighter? I sure did. Uriah was a fucking beast. On that spinning wheel kick that he did was insane. I mean, I thought he killed that guy. It was nuts. And the way that he reacted to it was, I feel like, is his downfall in combat sports. Is he's way too empathetic. So he feels bad when he knocks somebody out like that, and I think that messed with his head throughout his entire career, which was unfortunate, honestly. But you know, you just can't help it sometimes, I guess. Oops. Let's take a look at the next numbered event, which was UFC 199. Do you still think Stipe is the greatest heavyweight martial artist of all time, or Fedor? I think I'd put Fedor ahead of him a little bit. I don't know. I think Stipe did a lot, but yeah, I don't know if I'd call him the greatest ever. One of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Yeah, Bisping versus Rockhold, which was nuts. I don't know why it's not bringing up. Okay, let's just do it this way. I thought this would be easy to bring stuff up, but it's just not wanting to bring up the events as quickly as I thought. Oh damn, archive. Do you think there's a win on Fedor's resume that's better than prime Francis Ngannou? Man, these are those tough questions, because I didn't follow Fedor that closely. I just know how great he was because of some of the fights I watched and everything I've heard. But it's one of those things where I'd have to really compare their resumes. So I'd have to look it all up, and I'm already having trouble looking this up. But Rockhold lost his title to Michael Bisping, and yeah, like Tyler said, or who was it? Yeah, Tyler said one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Michael Bisping beating Rockhold after he had gotten beaten by Rockhold previously to win the championship here. Obviously, he let that go pretty quickly after. I don't think, did he? Or maybe he defended it once. He did defend it once against Dan Henderson. So Dominic Cruz also had his first first consecutive title defense versus Uriah Faber, where he won by unanimous decision. And also on this card, we had Max Holloway beating Ricardo Lamas by unanimous decision. Dan Henderson beat Hector Lombard by TKO in the second round. Dustin Poirier beat King Green. Brian Ortega beat Clay Guida. Jessica Andrade beat Jessica Penne. Beneil Dariush beat James Vick. There was a lot of fights on this card that were like noticeable. Sean Strickland versus Tom Breeze. Split decision win for Sean Strickland on that one. Damn. And then that's about it. But yeah, so Luke Rockhold was supposed to fight Chris Weidman, but Chris Weidman got injured against old ass Henderson. Chris Weidman got injured. He had a neck injury, so that's why Bisping stepped in. Let's see who else. BJ Penn was supposed to fight against Dennis Seaver in this one, but Seaver had an injury as well, so that was in the same thing with the last card. And then BJ Penn was supposed to fight Cole Miller as well, but that got canceled because Penn got flagged for a USADA violation. So some canceled fights going on with that one. But yeah, some big fights happening there. And that, you know, that was Rockhold, who was supposed to beat the shit out of Bisping because he had done it before, and he loses his title. And there's a picture of Bisping knocking out Rockhold, which now we know where Rockhold's at too. He's not doing very well right now. He's lost basically in every single sport he's tried, and now he's talking about going to Power Slap, which is insane. If he gets slept in Power Slap, it'll be embarrassing. If he actually does it, it might be embarrassing enough. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he should do that. He's lost in Karate Combat, Bare Knuckle, Misfits, or not Misfits, but boxing in general. He's lost in every other damn sport, including since he left MMA. So if he goes to Power Slap, that's crazy. But let's move on to the what was supposed to be the landmark event besides New York for the UFC in 2016, when a lot happened, and that was UFC 200 was supposed to be headlined by none other than John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. But because John Jones popped for PEDs, do you think BKFC had real potential back then? Back when? During these times? I don't know. BKFC I think is just way better off now than they were before. I remember during the Artem Lobov days, people thought it would never blow up. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's definitely blown up considerably since those days. I just don't know how big. I don't know where the cap is. Because it seemed to be getting pretty big like a year ago, and then it just fizzled a little bit, you know. But you got Conor in the mix over there, and if he doesn't wind up coming back to MMA, he's definitely going to put his mark on that sport, being that he's, you know, monetarily invested in it. So they're selling out arenas now. That's hard to do. Yeah, but you know, it's still not recognized the way that like MMA is, the way that the UFC is, the way that some of the other organizations are. But they definitely have a lot of potential. They definitely have a lot of potential because, you know, they're doing big things. I just don't know. You know, they took this. There's still a lot of events happening that you just don't hear about. Thai Fight is better than BKFC. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people say is better than this, that, or the other thing. I don't watch anything that deeply. There's a lot of things that people don't know about that might be better. But I'm talking about mainstream shit that whether it can become mainstream or not, I you know, Muay Thai fighting and kickboxing, it's just never going to be as big. it's never going to be as big as MMA has become. Maybe someday, I guess I shouldn't say never, but I just don't know what someone's going to have to do something big in order to get these things, you know, in order to get these things mainstream. So you know, everyone can be a fan of all these things, and it's great. And I love the fact that there's this many other combat sports out there, but it's just never going to be what the UFC is. It's going to take a long time, and the UFC is going to have to fizzle out quite a bit before some of these other sports come up. They have to put forth some effort in advertisements and stuff like that. Advertising and finances make a big difference. There you go. Just like Infinity said. So it's tough, man. It's a tough thing to think about. And, you know, while people might think it's better than this or better than that, I'm just talking about the things that are in the forefront. So yeah. Anyway, we had Miesha Tate versus Amanda Nunes, and this is where Nunes took over the belt and was able to go on the big run. Fizzle for shizzle for but yeah, this is where Amanda Nunes took over that belt. Now, this is also another controversial fight, was Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt, because this is what that lawsuit spans from, that's still ongoing apparently, or at least Mark Hunt is still trying to keep it going, because Brock Lesnar, his win was overturned to a no contest because he popped dirty for PEDs as well during UFC 300, and Mark Hunt tried to sue the UFC, tried to sue USADA, tried to sue Brock Lesnar, and hasn't been successful yet. But this was a controversial win for Brock Lesnar, which was overturned to a no contest because of the PED. And it also it's still ongoing shit from that. Tyler, man, I can't wait for you to grow up a little bit. So yeah, we also had Daniel Cormier versus Anderson Silva on this card. Wasn't the best of fights, honestly. It was a unanimous decision win for Daniel Cormier. There wasn't a lot of big happenings throughout this entire card, really. We had Jose Aldo winning the belt against Frankie Edgar. Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown was a good fight. We had first round finish for Cain. I was happy to see that one. Travis Brown, scared of the truth. Oh man. Cain Velasquez beating Travis Brown was fun to watch. Travis Brown is just kind of full of himself. He was a great fighter while he was at it, but yeah, there was something about him I just didn't like. We had Juliana Pena beating Kat Zingano, and that was the featured prelim. Kelvin Gastelum versus Johnny Hendricks in the prelims. Now, this was UFC 200. Cain is up for probation next month, so we'll see if they grant him probation. Otherwise, he's gonna have to be in there for probably almost another year, I think. Travis versus Andre. Did you watch Travis versus Andre live? I think I did. Pat Barry versus Chet Congo. I definitely watched that live. TJ Dillashaw versus Rafael Asunciao. That was a damn good fight. Sage Northcutt. Oh shit. Joe Lozon versus Diego Sanchez. Gegard Mousasi versus Thiago Santos. Jim Miller versus Takanori Gomi was the first fight of the night on UFC 200. If you remember, UFC 200 had this stupid gold mat, which was absolutely atrocious. I don't know why the fuck they did that. It was ugly as fuck. And as you can see, it wasn't even done well. You can see the lines in the, how many times have you seen that in today's, cage, with the lines in the middle looking all kind of generic? That color was horrible. They redid that with the gold gloves. That was disgusting as well. So the gold just needs to stick to accents on the black for the uniforms of the champions. Other than that, let's leave the gold alone. Why did they do the horrible gold gloves that fell apart? Oh, when? That was this past year, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was earlier this year. Jim Miller fought, yes, 100, 200, and 300, which is insane. But yeah, and what I think they should do with the champions gloves is they should do all black gloves with the gold accent. So they put the UFC in gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be sick. That's what they should have done. You know, because the UFC is usually in white. Put it in gold on top of the gold that's on the uniforms. That's it. You don't need a gold fucking mat. You don't need a gold glove. Yeah, it's we don't need any of that shit. The gold is just dumb. So yeah, UFC 200 was kind of a fluke. Go back to no gloves. They're not gonna do that, that's for sure. They can't even get new revised gloves because they just go back to the old shit because they just need to come up with something better. But yeah, that was supposed to be the biggest event of the year, and instead it turned out probably to be the New York card. But let's move on to UFC 201, and that was Robbie Lawler versus Tyron Woodley. Now, you can say what you want about Tyron Woodley, but when he became champion, you know, he was pretty big at that moment. Now, he doesn't do a whole lot anymore. He's kind of like Rockhold, losing in everything he does, getting knocked out by Jake Paul included. But, you know, he did well when he won the championship. And beating Robbie Lawler too was, I mean, that's a tough feat, especially when Robbie was in his heyday. Woodley was dope, but fell off hard. He sure did. And yeah, he does have a bit of a crybaby mentality, man. I hate to say it, but if you think about how hard he worked to get his way up to getting a title shot, you know, to getting into the UFC, getting a title shot, at the end he felt entitled because it took him so long and he worked so hard to get there, and then he just kind of got pushed aside because they were kind of sick of dealing with him. And that's because when sometimes yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? But sometimes you're just fucking annoying. But yeah, I mean, he was older in his prime too, so that's why he fell off quicker than most. But he did beat Robbie Lawler in the first round by TKO to win the belt. Entitled to an ass whipping with that attitude. Yeah. Karolina Kowalkiewicz gets a performance of the night, or a fight of the night bonus with Rose Namajunas as she wins by split decision in the co-main. We had Jake Ellenberger beating Matt Brown. Who else? Any other big ones? Nikita Krylov versus Ed Herman was a head kick KO for Krylov. Masvidal, Gamebred, beat Ross Pearson. Ross Pearson, I haven't heard that name in a long ass time. Holy shit. Let's see who else. That's about it, really. The rest of these fighters, they haven't been around for a long time, or weren't around long at all. Ross was dope. Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was a fun guy to watch fight for sure. He lost a lot of fights, but at the same time, he had some good wins in there. But Masvidal beat him by unanimous decision on this card. But this card marked the Tyron Woodley era for holding that belt, and he won in emphatic fashion against a hard opponent like Robbie Lawler. So Tyron Woodley only held the belt. No, he defended 4 times. So I don't know why I said only. He defended 4 times. The first one was the one Tyler had a problem with, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 205. Got the majority decision draw. So I mean, he didn't really rob anybody. It was a draw. Sure, if they didn't give it to anybody though, it was a draw, and he just keeps his title. But then he came back. Okay, you might be talking about this one, when he came back and beat him by majority decision. So it was close fights both times. They weren't very fun fights, honestly. And then he also beat Damian Maia and Darren Till. And then he lost to Kamaru Usman at UFC 235. So he held the belt for a little bit. It wasn't the best, craziest title reign, but still, for defenses, it's not nothing, right? So that brings us over to UFC 205, the New York card. Finally, we are legal in New York, the last place that needed to be legalized, and it happened finally. And we got Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez to fight for Conor's second title simultaneously, as he's already the featherweight champion. Now I was rooting for Eddie too, honestly. Woodley beats GSP on any day. Go fuck yourself. That ain't happening. Never would, never did, never will. But yeah, I was rooting for Eddie too, but you could tell Eddie was beat before he even got in that cage, because Conor was fucking with his head so hard and he let it happen. He didn't ignore it. He didn't defend it very well. He lost his mind and he got crazy, and it lost him the fight. And that's unfortunate for Eddie, because Eddie only held the belt for a very short amount of time. I don't even think he defended, if I remember correctly. Nope, he beat RDA when Dos Anjos came back for the belt, and then Conor came and beat him. So that's how that happened. And see, that's why Conor's yeah. So he came up and he beat Eddie. So Eddie Alvarez, as we know, came over from Bellator. He was a champion over there, had a lot of crazy fights over there. And then no, I mean, I get it, Antoine. It's just he's a real champ. I never said he wasn't a real champion. He's definitely a real champion in the fact of everything that he did. Had he only won one belt and never defended it, I don't know that I could say that. You know what? Everybody that wins a belt is a champ, except, I don't know, it's questionable with interims. You're still a champ, you're just an interim champ. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know, by certain aspects, one of the most dominant champion performances ever. Yeah. Second round, I mean, he knocked down Eddie like 3 times in the first round, which was crazy. That's like Ilya KOing Alex and Max, and then he KO'd Charles. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, it's just Ilya's doing the same thing, kinda. I'm telling you, Ilya is just trying to emulate what Conor McGregor did, all even to the T of legal disputes. They're not the same type of legal disputes though, but or legal troubles, I should say. It's weird, man. It's a whole weird situation, but yeah, Conor beat Eddie, and he dropped him 3 times in that first round, which was insane. But then he was able to get him out of there in the second round. We also had Tyron Woodley with that majority draw with Wonder Boy. They got the fight of the night. Joanna Jędrzejczyk beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz by unanimous decision to defend her title for the 4th time. Yoel Romero beat Chris Weidman, which was that crazy flying fucking knee to Weidman when Weidman was like, I don't know if he was going for a takedown or what, but Yoel just sprung from a dead standstill and hit Weidman in the side of the head with a knee and knocked him clean out. It was 24 seconds into the 3rd round, and it was just a crazy turn of events. Weidman wasn't looking the best in that fight, but Yoel is just a specimen. It was insane. Raquel Pennington beat Miesha Tate by unanimous decision. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yoel went. Yeah, I know. I did too until I was looking at this card. Frankie Edgar beat Jeremy Stevens by unanimous decision. And then you also had Khabib. Hold on. What is this one? Oh, before I go too far, let me show this. Oh no, what happened here? Did I forget? Oh, there it is. Okay, so Conor, if you remember, when he was going up against Eddie in the second round, I think he put his hands behind his back, which is something that so many people did after the fact. It was just one of those, like, again, I'm giving him his props, man. One of those iconic moves that Conor did, put his hands behind his back while Eddie swung at him. You know, I think he swung at him once or twice. And then Conor came back to it, but just this was one of those crazy pictures where you're like, damn, he stood there for a minute like this too. It was kind of crazy. And then you had Conor with the double champ status. Eddie was winning that fight. You're funny, Tua. He got knocked down 3 times in the first round. If you think that's winning, that's crazy. But Conor with the 2 belts, of course, becoming the double champ, and this was the iconic. I want to apologize to for absolutely fucking nothing, because the double champ does what the fuck he wants. The leg kicks were effective, but that does not constitute him winning the fight whatsoever. Roy Jones had the best behind the back knockout. Oh yeah, and I'm sure that you know, Conor was on his way to fighting Floyd Mayweather soon after this, so you know, I'm sure he was studying a lot of boxing because he knew that something was on the horizon. So, and he has the knowledge of all these combat sports to do something like that. If you think about game bred Jorge Masvidal, as we hit 2017, you could feel things shift in UFC. Dustin was on the rise and Justin had signed. Yeah, and you know, if you think about Masvidal versus Ben Askren, where he stood on the cage with his hands behind his back and then just ran out in that 6-second fucking flying knee knockout, was insane. That's another one. Mayweather with the shoulder rolls. UFC 217 happened that year. In 2017. Yeah. I don't know all the details for 2017 right now because I'm in 2016. That's pushing my brain to the limits trying to go that far. Other notable fight. Oh, the Khabib fight was also on this card, which is crazy just because of the, you know, happenings between Khabib and Conor down the line. But we had him against Michael Johnson, and the crazy thing about this fight was this was the fight where Khabib was like telling Michael Johnson that he needs to just give it up, that he deserved to fight for the title. He's like, let me just quit, man, let me win. He said some shit like that, and then he's talking to Dana in the corner while he's beating on Michael Johnson's face, telling Dana, I deserve this, I deserve to fight for the title. So it was yeah, it was pretty crazy. So just funny that, you know, then Khabib goes on to beat Conor for the title. Yeah, it was a fun fight. It was a weird one. It's one of those ones that people still talk about. Tim Boetsch, if you remember him, versus Rafael Natal. Vicente Luque versus Bilal Muhammad. Vicente Luque beat Bilal in the first round by TKO. Jim Miller beats Thiago Alves by unanimous decision, and Liz Carmouche beats Caitlin Chukagian at the time by split decision as well. So that was your New York card, and again, historic for many reasons. Conor becoming double champ, Khabib in the shit talk in that corner, Joanna defends her title for the 4th time, that crazy Yoel Romero flying knee. You know, MMA is finally legal in the UFC, which kicks off the November MSG fight cards that are still going to this day. A lot of stuff happened throughout this year. I mean, throughout this this fight card. So many historical things that are, you know, still have effects on today. So next up we have UFC 206, and that was Max Holloway starting his title run against Anthony Pettis, where he won the title there at UFC 206. Let me bring that up real quick, because, and this is obviously, and you know, this just goes to show how much historical shit happened in 2016. Max Holloway wins the belt over Anthony Pettis with a 3rd round TKO to become the featherweight champion. I believe it's the interim featherweight championship, but then, you know, obviously he became the champ after this, so it kind of started off his run because he led right into becoming the undisputed. Donald Cerrone beat Matt Brown by head kick 34 seconds into the 3rd round. Cowboy doing cowboy shit. Cub Swanson beats Doo-Ho Choi by unanimous decision. And then Kelvin Gastelum beat Tim Kennedy. We had Misha Serkinov beating Nikita Krylov. Olivier Aubin-Mercier beating Drew Dober in the prelims. Let's see, who else? Lando Venata beating John McDessie. And that's about it that happened on this card. But yeah, this was a fun one because of Max Holloway, Duo Choi versus Cub Swanson, a Hall of Fame bout. Yeah, that was one of those crazy ones. They got the fight of the night, and it was just a insane fight. It was fun to watch, and they definitely deserved those bonuses for that one. Cub Swanson was a beast, man, but so was Duo Choi. They put on a great fight in the featherweight in the featherweight division for that one. That could have easily been the main event of that card. It was nuts. But yeah, 206 starting the Max Holloway era. Holloway's greater than Aldo. Yeah, in some ways, I believe you're right. Aldo did some crazy shit though. But I think it's just all within the era, you know what I mean? But I think Holloway has outlasted Aldo in a way. And I think with all of the accolades, I'm hard pressed to agree with you completely, Tyler. I like Holloway a lot, and I do think that what he's accomplished, with everything that he's accomplished, I think he's done pretty well for himself, and I think he's definitely it's something to be argued, but I definitely think he has an edge over Aldo overall, especially because his career is continuing. So next up, and I think the last one of there's your Holloway highlight, just getting that belt. But the last one for this year, UFC 207, and this one, for obvious reasons, was big because it marked the return of Ronda Rousey after she got head kick KO'd by Holly Holm, who obviously lost the title quickly after that to Miesha Tate. But then Miesha Tate loses the title to Amanda Nunes, who then comes back to defend the title against Ronda Rousey, making her first appearance after her first loss of her career, getting head kick KO'd, beat Rousey back into retirement. See, this card was lit because of the storyline, and it was on a Friday. Yeah, Tyler, Jesus, you got to give it up, man. But Nunes versus Rousey. Oh yeah, UFC 207. Fuck, I was trying to remember. But yeah, I mean, this was crazy for the simple fact that everyone was like, okay, Ronda Rousey coming back, making a big deal. Look at the poster. I mean, no matter if you're looking at it vertical wise or horizontally, the poster says she's back in big letters. You barely saw anything from Amanda Nunes, even though she was the champ that had, that had gotten the belt and was ready to defend, and yet you barely saw any kind of promotion for her. It was all about Ronda Rousey and how she was coming back, and then the fuss about Ronda Rousey not wanting to talk to the media, everything. Tyler, I understand the women are not as good as the men overall. You don't got to keep reminding me, bro. I get it. You can say it all you want. I don't agree with you 100%, but this is a pretty historical fight, and it has its worth. So you could say it as many times as you want. I'm never gonna agree with you. I don't believe that the women are up to the level as the men, but I don't think you have to go that hard in the paint about it. So Amanda Nunes defends her title for the first time by beating Ronda Rousey. 48 seconds into the first round, just pieced her the fuck up, made Ronda look like she never belonged there, and Ronda just retired into fucking nothing in MMA. Then she goes to the WWE, where she at least we get to see. I mean, there's an upside, right? But oh man, what the fuck? Ronda should not start boxing whatsoever. You're probably joking about that, I'm sure, but anybody who thinks that's true, oh god, please don't. But yeah, Ronda goes to the WWE and claims that she got mistreated over there as well. It just started her her fucking villain arc, I guess, because you know she's in movies, she's doing all this other shit. She has too much attitude for what she can and can't do. She's not what she used to be at all, and I feel like a lot of her reign was because of the level of competition she was fighting. But she did a lot, just like Conor did a ton for the sport. Ronda did a ton for the sport too. She soiled that reputation a little bit though, because of how she treated her first loss, at the time, first and only loss. The way that she came back and the way that she treated everybody and the way she treated things while she came back for this Amanda Nunes fight, it just made it even worse. So you know, her walkout song of Bad Reputation preceded her and you know, she hasn't been back. There's of course the talks this year jumping out saying that she might come back. We'll have to wait and see. I sure as fuck hope she doesn't box at all, because if you watch the footage of her shadow boxing, it's horrendous. So yeah, it's bad. This also had the oh well, here's the picture of Nunes beating the shit out of Ronda Rousey. Yeah, that's bad. And this was Nunes at peak. Years of mom abusing her left its mark. Probably, yeah. If she boxes, it will be someone's highlight reel. It definitely will be, unless she boxes someone really bad. But we also had on this card was Cody Garbrandt in that crazy performance against Dominic Cruz, who Dominic Cruz was the only one at the time really doing, you would Tua, Dominic Cruz was the only one doing the crazy footwork at the time, but Cody Garbrandt decided he would figure it out, and he kind of did, because he was breakdancing in that cage against Dominic Cruz, and he put in a fucking show, a clinic, whatever else you want to call it, against Dominic Cruz. Now, don't get me wrong, Cody Garbrandt didn't really live up to the hype of this fight, but he definitely put on a show for this one. They got the fight of the night. He winds up winning the belt, which I don't think he kept for very long. If we look at Cody Garbrandt's title reign, he beat Dominic Cruz and right away turned around and lost it to TJ Dillashaw. So, and then he fought Dillashaw again and lost again, back to back. So it was, you know, it was a quick one for Garbrandt, but he was good in that moment for sure. TJ Dillashaw also fought on this card against John Lineker and won by unanimous decision. Dong Hyun Kim beat Tarek Saffiedine by split decision. Ray Borg beat Luis Smoka by unanimous decision. There was a lot of decisions on this card. Neil Magny beat Johnny Hendricks. Antonio Carlos Jr. beat Marvin Vettori. Nico Price beat Brandon Thatch. Tim Means and Alex Oliveira went to a no contest due to a knee to the downed opponent, which was crazy. It was, people say best performance, but it was 48-47. God damn, Tyler, you are such a just a negative Nancy, huh? Dude, the aesthetics of the performance was crazy. You weren't even alive. I'm just kidding. Yes, you were. But I just don't understand why oh man. I have to remember I'm talking to a high school kid. I have to remember that, because yeah, you're no, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know what else to say. I wasn't even gonna, it wasn't even about you. I was just gonna talk about it's pointless, man. This rage bait culture is just ridiculous, because there's no telling anymore, because you're just gonna claim rage bait all the time. So if somebody gets mad at what you say, you claim rage bait. I get it. That's just the easy way out these days, you know. that's how it goes. But it's just, listen, man, I'm just trying to talk about what happened in 2016. See. Oh man. yeah, so Garbrandt beat Cruz, and that was the rest of that card. So that was really it in 2016. And I mean, you know, there was a lot of shit that happened. When it comes down to it, the impact was, let me get down to my, let's see, where is it? I have too many fucking notes. Okay, here we go. It's a good social exercise. Too bad Cody has no chin. He could have been great. Yeah, he lost that pretty quickly. I mean, Dillashaw, I think Dillashaw broke him. And after that, it just kind of went to shit. So that's what sucks about that. Where did you get this music? This is AI generated music that I made. That's the short of it. From Suno. I put in some prompts. I got some music. A lot of my music is from that because it doesn't have any copyrights. So that's where a lot of it comes from. Some of it is from the YouTube music library as well. The uncopyrighted stuff that you can use on YouTube. That's where I got some of it. But this is for sure a Suno track that I made. So 2016, the year of title changes. The UFC's identity shifted. New champions all over the place. Dominant reigns began because we had like Holloway, Stipe, you know, the different types of title runs that started in this year. The legends that faded, Jose Aldo. So just so many people that you know, Ronda Rousey done over. So many different things that happened. You know, the sport became more mainstream this year because of the sale, because of the New York legalization, Conor McGregor doing the big things he was doing, all of the mainstream outlets picking up on all of it and reporting on all of it. Those are the biggest things that happened. You know, the changes that took place across the board with the UFC. You get multiple first-time champions, interim titles created and later nullified. The interim titles really just started going nuts after this year, and that's just because they seem to find reasons to constantly. Well, a lot of it has to do with Dominic Cruz. And do you think Ronda could ever come back to the UFC? I think she could come back. I don't think she should come back though. I don't think she could do very well against anybody besides a retired person, a retired fighter from back in her day. Is the only way she could do anything decent with a comeback, or somebody who's like a beginner. But the interim titles, I think Dominic Cruz had a lot to do with that because of all the injuries. She should not be a commentator whatsoever. She sucks. She sucks at talking. She'll make it all about herself. She should not be a commentator at all. She needs to just be at home in her ranch and take care of her kids. Or go back to the WWE. Never listen to her that bad. Damn. Yeah. No. You don't want her talking. She'll make it all about her. It's bad. She should be an OF model. Ugh. I don't know about that, man. Have you seen her these days? I don't know that you want to see that. Interim titles created and later champion strip. What the fuck was I writing these for? Divisions. Oh, I'm sorry. That's because, okay, so the interim title thing, Dominic Cruz had a lot to do with that because of all the injuries. He was out for multiple years. There was a lot of stuff that had to do with the interim titles, and a lot of it came from the way that Dominic Cruz had so many injuries and so many times he had to come out of a fight. But yeah, and then just everything changed with the champions. Constant urgency for people to become a champion or to win a belt. Every card felt somewhat important because there was some sort of a title change happening. The UFC kind of was done with the long-term dynasties after this. A lot of the fighters that own titles now just they change hands. Even if you look at the way that the champions are not the champions by the end of the year, you know what I mean? So like the change of hands, all that stuff. Let me go to this because I forgot to prep this. Where is it? Shit, what did I do with it? Did I not? I guess I didn't prep it at all. Well, that sucks. Dude, I could have swore I put this in there and I don't know where it went. So I'm changing things for nothing. Cool. Let me see. Nope, not there either. Well, I had a graphic showing the champions from 2025, the end of 2025 to the end of 2026. Yeah, and so the competition, okay, caught up. That makes sense. Yeah, it's just one of those things. 2026 is a whole lot different than 2016 because of the way that the champions are, you know, are categorized, how they're matched up, all that shit. The UFC started Paramount Plus starting next week, actually. But yeah, we're in the Paramount Plus era. Before it was ESPN, there was Fox before that. Now we're in the Paramount Plus era. The streaming is everything these days, and we finally get the first event coming up in less than a week, and that is UFC 324. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Not everybody's happy about it. Say what you will about the event. It is what it is. What I will say is that I think it's not a horrible event. It would have been way better had Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes stayed on the card. I think that made it feel bigger, but unfortunately that's not going to happen because Kayla got injured. So I don't know how to type. It's getting to that point where I need to just be done. Man, it's crazy to think about what's going to happen. I bought my Paramount subscription today. Nice. Yeah, I have the premium as well. What's funny that I didn't talk about last week, and I had it in the title and I just totally spaced it, is that they're actually going to raise the price on the I think they already did. No, they raise it after the first event, which is weird. The 25th is when they raise the price. So it's going to be, instead of $59.99, which they said all over the place, oh, $59.99 will get you everything for the UFC. It's actually going to be like fucking what, $89.99. So it already changed. It's already going to change price, but it's a lot more if you get premium, but still not as much as paying $80 for every event, sometimes twice in a month. So we got Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. We got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong for the co-main event, since Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison is off. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas, and Arnold Allen versus Jean Silva to round out your main card. That should be a fun main card, honestly, minus the other title fight that should have been there. But Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo in the prelims. Atiba Gauthier versus Andre Pulev. Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas, and Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Even the early prelims have bangers. Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. Josh Hokett versus Denzel Freeman. Ricky Tercios versus Cameron Smotherman, and Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. Some good fights coming up this week, so make sure that you come back on Thursday, because on Thursday I will finally be back to what I do, and that will be previewing the next event happening, the first event happening in 2026. I'm actually off to check this one out. Looks like fun. Hell yeah. Next weekend, I'm pretty damn sure I'm doing a watch party. I will confirm on Thursday. How do you feel about the next 3 events on paper? Well, I like UFC 324. UFC 325 is not as impressive, but the main card is pretty good. Volkanovski versus Lopez, BSD versus Hooker, Fiziev versus Hoofy, Tuivasa versus Teixeira, and Selkild versus Rong Zhu. Hell yeah, that's a great one for the main card. The prelims aren't as good. Fight night, Bautista versus Oliveira. This one's kind of tough, man. This one's kind of tough, but Mikel Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-Andre Barrios should be good. John Matsumoto versus Farhad Basharat, that should be good as well. Bautista versus Oliveira, Lock Dog, yeah, that could be good. Amir Albazi versus Kyoji Horiguchi, that's pretty good too. Just not blockbuster shit, but not bad. It could be worse. So I'm just happy it's back, man, and it's starting off with a bang. So thanks again for jumping in, guys. That was 2016 to 2026, 10 years in review. I thought it was fun. A lot of people are jumping back in social media to 2016 as it was, so I figured it's a good time to talk about it. 2016 was a pivotal year in the UFC. It changed a lot of shit. It was a lot of firsts and a lot of lasts. So great year. Go back and watch some of the fights from 2016 on Paramount Plus, because you can do that now. And they're on the road a lot the first quarter of 2026. Yeah, thank you all as good for being here. I appreciate you. What do you think the UFC will become 2060? Too much to think about, bro. That's way too far down the line. But that's it for me. I'm gonna get out of here. Come back on Thursday for the preview of UFC 324. Back to the regular schedule. I'm happy and excited for it. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.